or possibly the favorite night of the week. I get to hang out with all of you wonderful people, everybody that's part of the team. And it's just always a privilege and honor to be able to speak in front of everybody. So I'm so excited we have Miss Shayla. She's on the panel tonight. And, we have Kristen, and we also have Mr. Dion. So, and then I'm Dana, and I'm the one leading the panel tonight. So I'm super excited for that. So tonight's topic about panel is coachability. That is a huge topic. I think that we don't really talk about too much, but I think it's very crucial to the business. And so I have some questions, and we'll kind of just do one person at a time, and we'll start with Shayla since you're, up top there on the left. So we'll just start with you. All right. So what do you think coachability means to you?
Sorry, my dog is barking. What did you say? What does coachability mean to me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, hi everyone. First and foremost, welcome to Friday Night Live. So do you want the Webster dictionary version? Or do you want the Shayla version?
I would love to hear the Shayla version. I am always down for that.
So for me, coachability is somebody that is coachable. Someone that is going to do what is asked of them, do it with a smile, maybe in their mind kind of question everything, but don't really speak on it. Just know that I've never done this before. Hey, they're the leader. I'm the follower. And that's what I'm supposed to be here for. So
I
that's
love that. I love that. Yeah, that's so good. That's so good. And how about you, Tristan? What does coachability mean to you? Just even Primerica or even outside of Primerica. What does it mean to you?
Be willing to take risks and do things that get own. I a lot of I've been asked to do I wouldn't do. So dipping that toe in just to learn it, and then once you start repetitiously doing it, you feel so comfortable that you're like, I didn't want to do that to begin with. Just stay open minded.
Yeah, I love that, and I like that you talk about taking risks because this is kind of just something so new. It is kind of an act of faith. Just taking the risk and understanding what we need to do and learning from our coaches, right? So being so coachable is that's one of the things I think really helps with the business in itself. So Dion, I'm going to ask you the same question. What does coachability mean to you?
I guess I would use an analogy for it. And being coachable is, doing what your coach says. And I'm gonna use a football analogy. Sometimes you get tunnel vision and you think you're seeing and need to do one thing, but when the coach is looking, they're looking at what the competition's doing, what you're doing, what your whole team's doing, and going, "Hey, just adjust." And you're like, "I don't see it. I know you don't see it. I can see it because I step back and I have experience. Just do what I'm asking and trust me." And we have to be that way in this business when our coach or our vice president or whoever's working with us says, hey, try it like this or to do this, have some blind faith and know, hey, their perspective's a little different and trust them.
Yeah, I love that. And I like that you use that analogy because they see the whole field, right? We see our part, we see what we need to do when we first start. And so they see the whole field. They see what every player needs to do. And, they might have their own little spin on what we could do that could help us, on or off the field, right? So I love that you brought that up. That's really good. So thank you, Dion. So just hearing all those great answers, I'm going to go on to the next question. And, this is kind of a longer one. So would you say, we'll start with you, Kristen, okay, because I will just kind of keep going with that. So would you say you were coachable in the first 30 days? So, that's part of our fast start bonus. So for all the new people that are on right now, the first 30 days, you can pretty much get promoted faster doing less work. So getting that fast start bonus, right? So in the first 30 days, would you say you were coachable? If you were, looking back now, what steps did you take that you really thought that grew your Primerica business during that time? Or if you weren't coachable, what is something that you would do differently for yourself?
I would say I was coachable, but I wasn't coachable to the point where I wish I was, if that makes sense. I am a senior rep, but looking back, if I would have really put more oomph into it, I think I would have made it to the next level because of the way that it's set up. It's so easy if you just do what is asked of you. I think I was so nervous that I would come off not knowing what I'm doing, but that's why you have your RVP and you have like I have my Shayla, that if I don't understand it, I can fall into that. I'm just a very independent person. It's taken a lot for me to learn that, yes, we're our own business, but we are a big family, and just lean into others when you're not understanding something, because they're there to pick you up or help walk you through it. So I was coachable, but looking back, I could have been more coachable is what I think. I
love that. And yeah, and I mean, you were more coachable than some. I'll be honest, I was not very coachable in the first 2 to 3 weeks during my fast start. I definitely dragged my feet. Dan, he gave me the tools I needed, but I didn't listen. I did kind of like the bare minimum sort of thing, got through some things here and there, but I could have done a lot better. Could have got stuff done a lot quicker, gotten on more equipment. So that's where I wish to kind of just intervene into this question too, is I wish I would have just did what they told me to do. Pretty much listen to the appointments I boot camp, get your list of names, start calling, right? Start calling, master the script, like just listening to that and being able to do that and get more comfortable with that. I wish that's one thing I wish I would have did differently. So, Shayla, I'm going to pass it over to you. Kind of same question. I mean, I have a feeling I know the answer because you were a rock star during your training. So, yeah, tell me a little bit more about how you felt like during your first 30 days. Did you feel like you were coachable? If so, awesome. And tell me why.
1,000% yes. I will say I was coachable. I like how Kristen mentioned, if you know me, Kristen knows me personally. Nobody here really, I mean, some people on know me personally, but I'm a very independent person, where she's shaking her head, where it's what I want to do. Right. So it took a lot out of me to, how the Bible says, die to self, and I want to improve. So that's exactly what I did. I took Shayla out of it, and I put full trust into my coaches, into Jarrell and Jackie. And I'm like, look here, I'm here, God, use me, use them to guide me to where I need to be. And with that being said, I mean, I did great. And not that I don't do great now. I had a huge explosion, and it all came from being coachable.
Yeah, absolutely. You had such a huge explosion. I saw your post there, girl, on Facebook about winning Breakaway to the Bay. So congratulations on that. For all you new people, there is a new competition going on right now. It is Marco Island. So Primerica, if you do what you need to do, like Miss Shayla did up here, and you basically get an all-inclusive vacation for free. They treat you like royalty on these trips. So I am so proud of you, Shayla. I'm so excited for you, and you well deserved. You worked your butt off, and I'm so excited for you. So, Mr. Dion, so kind of the same for you. You want to know what? I honestly don't know how long you've been in business. I see you on our meetings in the mornings. I enjoy listening to you. I know a little bit about you. We're in Michigan. You're from Muskegon, but I don't know how long you've been in the business. So, how was your first 30 days? Did you feel like you were coachable? And if you could do something different, what would you have done if you needed to?
So I went through the motions of what I was being asked, but I should have asked more questions to understand, and I probably would have been even more coachable. I was hesitant. I was resistant. The appointments I did do went a different direction, and I'm like, this isn't making sense. And I should have asked questions of my vice president, because that probably would have brought a lot more clarity and understanding for me to go, oh, okay, this is, sometimes we're putting together a puzzle without the box on the picture in front of us, and being coachable allows you to put that puzzle together.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's hard to even know what questions to ask, right? Because this
Yeah.
is, something so new. I know for me, I had a hard time just figuring out what questions to ask. I had no idea
Right.
what I was doing half the time. I was like, okay, they're telling me to set appointments. I'll set appointments. They're telling me to get through licensing. All right, let's get through licensing, and just kind of listening to that and being coachable with that. But yeah, I didn't know what questions to ask yet. Right.
Yeah.
Keep moving forward and keep getting on trainings, do all 3 lives as a steward, and that helps, build your confidence in the business too, and knowing what questions to ask your upline. So, my last question I have for us here, I know we only have a couple minutes left, but would you say that being coachable is one of the keys to winning here in Primerica? Why or why not? Deanne, I'll just start with you, kind of going backwards now. So,
Well,
what are your thoughts on it?
the short answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, emphatically yes. You don't want to be the reason people can't become financially independent. So if you want to be the reason for people becoming financially independent, be coachable.
Oh, I love that. Because we're here to be coachable for ourselves to build a business, right? But we're also here to help others. We're here to bring people a sense of peace and becoming financially independent as well, as long as building a business. So I love that. How about you, Tristan? Would you say be coachable is a key in winning here in Primerica?
I think it is. Life, different career backgrounds. I had no experience in financial at all. So I think that you have to be coachable to learn the families, but also if you have people on your team, you got to be coachable so that you're able to coach them. It's just building that trust with your RVPs and then carrying that into your teammates. And that's something I'm still working on, is taking what they're giving me and then being a leader to ability to the next group that's coming in, because I don't want to leave them with any gaps. I want to bridge that gap so they make sure that they get everything that I've gotten, because it's amazing opportunity. I want to make sure they have that as well.
Absolutely. That is so good. And we have about a couple minutes left here, Shayla. How about you? How do you feel coachability really ties into the business?
I really think that Kristen hit the nail on the head with what she said. She said it perfectly well, where, I'll use me for an example. I build a really big team very fast. And like Jarrell always says, we don't know what the heck we're doing. And it just keeps going. So I have to be coachable. And just like Kristen said, because I want to be that leader. I know how to be manager, Shayla. I know how to be boss, Shayla, but this is different. It takes it's bringing out a different Shayla. And, it's exposing, my strengths and my weaknesses. But I have to be coachable to rely on my coaches, because they know, I gotta bring them out, as Jarrell says. And oh my gosh, my train of thought was in the whole wrong way, y'all. But yes, you have to be coachable. If you want to win. If you want to win in this business.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, because if you want to win, you got to be coachable, and you have to learn the business. So why not learn from the coaches, right? So that is all we have time for our pregame panel. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening, and great answers, everyone. So now I'm going to kick it over to Sierra. Such an honor and pleasure to be able to pass this one over to Sierra for announcements.
That was awesome, you guys. Such a great panel. Awesome. All right. So we are in Friday Night Live, you guys. So excited to be on tonight. It doesn't seem like my slideshow's trying to be cooperative, but thank you guys for being on time. Okay. If you did not get to hear the panel, you guys want to make sure that you are able to hop on. We start at 6:45 Eastern time for our panel each week. I love listening to the panel. We just get to hear, different perspectives from each of our top leaders that are working the business right now. So please be on time. Turn on your cameras if you can. We want to see your beautiful faces. If your camera is on, you are more likely going to be engaged, actually retaining the information you're going to be learning tonight. Take notes, okay? Make sure that you have a pen and paper, or if you are, if you like to type out your notes, you can do that as well. I'm old school. I like to do pen and paper. So get that out, get that prepared, and be able to learn something. Okay. So we just heard that Shayla, our girl Shayla, won this trip, which is so incredible. You guys shout her out in the chat right now. She is going to be in San Diego this August, being able to be treated like a queen. Look at this beautiful resort, you guys. Like, I am so jealous, and I'm going to be working towards this next trip that we have going on. But what this is, it's the Gaylord Pacific Resort in San Diego, California. This is the last month to qualify. Okay. So if you are in the running, keep pushing towards that. The next trip that we have coming up is the Gulf Coast Getaway. Okay, so this is at the JW Marriott Marco Island Beach Resort in Marco Island, Florida. The qualification period started at the beginning of this month. It goes all the way to November. There are 1,200 slots available. You guys, you are in the running right now to win this trip. I mean, look at these pictures. This is giving me so much FOMO. I definitely want to be able to win this. You can see the event dates if you're curious about what the qualifications are. You can see those in POL. Also reach out to your trainer or your regional vice president for more information. New reps. You guys, you are currently in your training period. Okay, so you are able to earn training bonus. Now, what this looks like is your first 60 days while you are studying for your life insurance license, you are able to collect $200 for every one recruit and $1,000 in premium that you observe. Okay, so make sure that you're racking up this bonus. It is uncapped. So if you got 3 recruits and you observe $3,000 in premium, you're going to get a $600 bonus. That is basically free money that the company is giving out to you guys. Okay. We got Midwest Builder School coming up this October in Sterling Heights, Michigan. If you guys didn't get to go to the last one, you want to make sure that you're at this next one. We have $1 million earners, Assad and Faraj, Assad and Lois Faraj, Jerry and Rhonda Byers. These are some incredible leaders in our business. We get to learn a ton of things from them. Take a screenshot of this, scan the QR code, or you can go to that link at the very bottom down there to grab your tickets. I want to say they still have early bird tickets. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but they do have early bird tickets where you can get your tickets a little bit cheaper. But guys, you want to make sure that you are already planning this out right now, because we have quite a few months. I can't do the math, but quite a few months until this. So you want to make sure you're making plans for that, right? Taking off of work, planning either a plane ticket or your travel plans so you can get this squared away and be there. They pack 6 months worth of training into 2 days, and it is so good. Tonight's lineup, we've got $100,000 earners, RVPs, regional vice presidents, Darrell and Jackie. We also have $200,000 earners and regional vice presidents, Dan and Taylor Romai. And then $400,000 earners, senior vice presidents, Nathan and Melanie Braley tonight. Our first speakers are going to be our power couple, one of our power couples, Darrell and Jackie. So I will hand it off to them, and they're going to be talking about filling the pipeline.
Thank you, Sierra. What's up, y'all? Happy Friday Night Live. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers on the call. See, we're pink tonight. Guys, listen, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you guys about filling your pipeline. So do me a favor before we get started. Send out the last minute text, right? If you see your teammates are not on, send them a message, say, hey, get on training, because this is going to be incredible. They're going to be teaching you how to build your business. And guys, I get the first time to talk to you guys about building your pipeline, right? And so I want you guys to write this down. My foundation in this business is my pipeline, right? My foundation is my pipeline. Because guys, listen, I'm going to literally give you guys some simple things that you can take advantage of tonight that can help you build your pipeline. And so one of the things I want to start off with you guys tonight is, what do you think the number one reason is why people don't grow their business here, right? What do you guys think it is? Thanks, Sarah. Like, I just saw your comment. Like, I had to wear pink tonight, right? So we got inactivity. Coach Dan said inactivity. Shayla says scared, right? Consistency. And so listen, one thing it isn't talent, y'all, right? And so I'll tell you it isn't talent, because Dan, guess what? I knew nothing about money and finance, but how to make it and spend it, right? And so one of the things that I found out very quickly here is that in order for you to grow a business, what do you think you need to have, y'all? A pipeline, right? A pipeline. You got to have people to go see, because guess what's here? Everywhere you go, there we are. There's people all the way around us, right? And so I don't know if you guys noticed that, but everywhere you go, there's people everywhere, right? And so I got some good news for you, right? I got some good news for each and every one that's on this call tonight, is that your next promotion, your next client, your next business partner / recruit is one conversation away, right? It's just picking up the phone and having a conversation with people, y'all, because I'm telling you, you have to get out of the habit of like prejudging people and just like, oh man, Dan, he's wearing a hat today. I don't think he'll be really great at this business. And guess what? You miss out on an opportunity to talk to somebody because you were prejudging. And so what I want you guys to work on tonight is, one, don't judge, right? What if you didn't judge anybody? What if you didn't guess who was interested? How many times you guys look at people like, you know what? I think Dana may be good at this. I don't really know. And then you say, you know what? I'll just talk to her later. And then when later it happens, someone else came along and talked to her about the opportunity, and she's been in it for 6 months, or she's been in it for 6 years. And you see back like, man, I mean, when I talked to Dan when I saw him at the mall, and I thought he was all set, but man, he's working with Primerica. He's making over $300,000 a year. Man, I wish I would have talked to him, right? But what if you talk to 3 to 5 people a day without prejudging, just getting 3 to 5 new names and numbers a day? What would your pipeline look 30 days from now? Right? Just think about the opportunities that you have ahead of you by just connecting with people, right?
Where's the what?
And so
Drill.
the drill, I'm not sure, but we're going to talk about how you can build the pipeline, right? And so the pipeline is like, you need a drill to build the pipeline. Actually, that's pretty good, Dan. Look, right?
Long wood
Awesome.
screws.
Yes, all the things, right? And so you have a great opportunity ahead to where, guys, you can talk to people everywhere you go, right? And so I just want you guys to know, the ones who win in this business, it's not that they know more people, just that they talk to more people. And I know that's a fact, because guess what? The reason why Dan and Taylor Romeyer are at $200,000 in income is because for a period of time, they talk to a lot more people than most people do. In their activity, because of the activity that they created, guess what happened, y'all? They got results. They built some great leaders. They built some promotions. They jumped diamonds, right? They're able to put themselves in a better position. This is because they talk to more people, right? And so a lot of times people, I don't know people. Well, there's people everywhere, right? And so tonight, I'm literally going to walk you guys through 5 simple action steps that can help you fill the pipeline, right? And allow you to grow your business. So one is out and about prospecting. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure a lot of us get out the house at least once a day, right? And so we're always out and about doing something, whether it's going to the grocery store, whether it's going to the gas station, get gas for our cars, or maybe you got an electric vehicle, you're just sitting in the parking lot charging your car, or whatever the case may be. You're always out and about, right? And so there's people everywhere. You just got to get uncomfortable to talk to people. I'm going to talk to you about how to get referrals from just having basic conversations here. So when you talk to people, well, guess what? Every time you talk to somebody, why don't you be more intentional about what? Growing your business. Does everybody stop at McDonald's? No, but guess what? They advertise enough to where they have people stopping there, right? Networking events, meetups, friends and family, social media, right? And so these are just 5 simple things I'm going to take you guys through tonight just to help you guys. And so one, again, out and about prospecting. You have to be intentional. Like, didn't Coach Dan do an incredible job last week, guys, talking about out and about prospecting? What you're going to find out is we do the exact same thing. He may say it a little bit differently. He may add 1 or 2 words, or maybe I add 1 or 2 words, but it's pretty much the same concept, which is what? Getting the name and number. And so when you're out and about, one thing that I always say, because I have to get uncomfortable, because Dan, you know me, I keep to myself. I'm that guy that'll be in the corner with the hoodie on and just be bopping to my own music and just chilling, right? But I'm like, hey, in order for me to grow this business, in order for us to achieve our goals and dreams, I just got to be willing to talk to people. We met our neighbors today, right? We met our neighbors. Guess what, Dan? They're in the Marines. They're going to the Air Force. They're going to Albuquerque in a couple of months, right? They're building a house and this and that. Why? How do you think I found it out? Because out and about with Jaden, we were riding a bike. So he was riding his bike and I was following him. And then the neighbors like, well, hey, we see you guys all the time. And then we had a conversation. And what do you think they asked me, Sarah? Well, what do you guys do? What do you guys do? And I said, Jackie, you want to talk to her real quick? And I let Jackie handle that, right? And then she started talking to the lady, and there we go, because I know she's bubbly. And not saying I'm not, but she thrives in those type of environments, just talking to strangers, talking to people, making them feel comfortable, getting their name and number. I'm not saying I don't, but if we're together, I'm leveraging her skill set, right? And so when you're out and about, Dan, you got to smile first, right? Tell your faces to smile, right? I mean, if you go up to somebody looking mad, you think they're going to want to talk to you? They're like, man, I wonder what's wrong with him. I mean, I hope you don't come talk to me. I hope she don't come talk to me. But when you're smiling, it's contagious, Mel, right? And so you got to smile when you're out and about. And so one of the things that I do, and like, say, for example, I see Dan, and like he has a suit jacket. And I'm like, bro, you look sharp. Where'd you get that jacket from? Oh, man, I got it from KG's. Oh, man, that's awesome. Well, hey, do you plan on working here, or do you keep your options open? Right? It's something as simple as that. And guess what? Most people say, what, Mel? I keep my options open. This is just a job to help me get by. You'd be surprised at how many people are open for an opportunity right now. It's just that we have to be willing to do what? Open our mouths and talk to them. And so, hey, Dan, you seem super sharp. Do you keep your options open outside of what you do? Yes. Great. What's your number? I love the connection. I'm a business owner in the area. I'm always looking to network with sharp people like yourself. And set a goal. Maybe do that 3 to 5 times a day. Start somewhere small. The key is to start a habit, right? Well, hey, my coach Dan told me I got to get 15 to 20. Well, great, you should. But you have to start somewhere, right? And so if you start the 3 to 5 a day, Mel, guess what happens? You start getting victories every single day in your business, or you get wins in your business. And when you get wins, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. You want to do more of it. And then you start getting results from it. You're like, well, hey, that all came from me just talking to people and getting uncomfortable. Not everybody's going to say yes to you, but enough people will if you give yourself the opportunity to talk to more people, right? And so that's out and about prospecting. Number 2 is referrals from conversations. And so you guys probably talk to people every day, right? And so on every appointment, be intentional about asking for the business or asking for the referral. Hey, Sierra, did you see value in what I was able to share with you and your family tonight? Yes. Do you know someone that can see value from this as well? Yes. Who is that person? Jerome. Great. I'd love to give Jerome a call. What's his number? I'm not asking, can I have his number? Hey, I'm being very assumptive, y'all, right? Hey, give me his number, right? Who do you know that's ambitious, hungry, looking for extra income? Just think about asking that to everybody every single day, Dan. Then I promise you, if you call 5 of your friends every day and just say, hey, who do you know that's ambitious, hungry, looking for extra income? Somebody's going to give you somebody. Or the people that you're calling, they say, well, bro, what about me? Oh, I didn't know you were interested, but hey, let's talk. Let me show you what I'm doing. Right? And so again, just being very intentional about every time you talk to people, hey, my goal is to do what? Find more people to talk to, because sharp people know sharp people, right? Networking events. This is huge, right? I would really challenge you guys to get out and about and go to at least one networking event a week. Or hey, maybe it scares you to do one a week. Well, start somewhere. Maybe do once every 2 weeks or once a month. Do something, but get yourself into the habit where you're networking with people, Sarah. Because guess what? When you start networking with people, they want to network with you. Well, what do? Well, let me share with you. Right. And then guess what? They know other people. It's crazy because, I go back to people that we met in our environment over here, just meet one person that connects us with other people. And now we know people from this other person, and we talk more of the referral than we do the person that we know. Because why? We network with them. We're building a relationship. We have something that we have in common, and we're just continuing to build that relationship. And guess what happens when you build relationships here? You build clients, you build referral partners, you build business partners, you build all the things. And so have a goal when you go to these networking events to at least get the five minimum, names and numbers, because people are looking to give you their number anyway. So why not exchange contacts and go somewhere where people want to connect with you, right? And so you have Eventbrite, you have church groups, right? Don't just go to church just to get names and numbers. Go for church for the right reasons, right? And so, but when you go to church for the right reasons, then guess what happens? Well, what do you do outside of church? Well, let me share with you. Oh man, this was good work. Maybe I can get you in front of some other people, right? Facebook groups, right? Join Facebook groups that you can relate to, y'all, right? And so what do I mean by I'm not joining a car group, Dan? Why? I know nothing about cars outside of push to start. Put my hand, my foot. I said my hand. Put my foot on the brake, hit the push to start, and it starts, and then I know how to drive and put gas. So that's all I know about cars. And so I'm not joining a car group talking about twin turbo and 4.5 liter or any of that stuff, because I have no idea. I'm lost in the sauce. But I'll join a sports group right away. Why? Because I can talk about sports all day. Right? Does that make sense? And so when you join groups that you can relate to, have some type of relatability, you build relationships off that, and you take those conversations offline, and guess what happens? You meet more people. Friends and family. You got to stop assuming that your friends and family don't want to help you. Sometimes you have to be consistent, Sierra, and in it long enough to where they start to trust you. Sometimes your friends and family don't want to buy from you because they think you're going to quit. They think you're just here temporarily. They think, okay, Sierra's only going to be here for like 5 months, and then she's going to go to the next best thing. But when you have stability, you continue to show up, guess what? Those friends and family start to show up like, well, Sierra, you're still doing that thing? Like, yes, I'm still doing that thing. And they can never get it right, girl. I've been here 7+ years, and my family's like, you still doing that one thing? I'm still doing that one thing. Oh, it's going really well. It's going unbelievable and getting better. Well, hey, we need to talk. We definitely do. Right? And so I'm being honest. This is how I talk to my friends and family, y'all. Right? And so, again, they want to help you, but we are in our own minds that they don't want to help us because we're projecting that they don't want to help. Well, they don't want to help me because of this and that, blah, blah, blah. Hey, even if they don't want to help you and they don't want to buy from you, I bet you they know other people that can see value in this. And so why not get in front of them, show them what you're doing, so that way it can simmer a little bit. And then they'll say, hey, Dan, you showed me that like 3 years ago. You still doing that thing? I'm ready to listen now. You just never know when they're going to come across your path. And so here's something simple that you can say to your friends and family, y'all. Well, hey, Jerome, I'm working on something powerful. It may or may not be for you, but I'd love to share it and get your thoughts. It's as simple as that, right? And then hop on the Zoom and show them exactly what you're doing. And then here's the last thing, y'all. Social media, right? And so I know a lot of us live in social media. It's a lot of real estate in social media, right? And so yes, leverage this, but understand that social media is a tool to building your business. It's not the only way, it is a way, right? And so you have to be able, one, you have to post consistently. Mel, the more you post on social media, the more people are going to be able to communicate with you. But if you're posting once every 6 months, they're not going to know if you're legit. They're going to think it's a scam and all these different things. But the more you post, the more people are like, dang, you know what? Shayla's a real thing. She's always posted. And so here's a DM that we send people in social media, right? And so these are DMs. This is not a post, right? Hey, Mel, I'm in the process of expanding my business. Things are going amazingly well and I need help. Do you know anyone who's motivated, wants to be their own boss with the potential to increase their income substantially, who would be open to looking for an opportunity or at an opportunity, right? And so that's another thing that we use, right? Take a screenshot of that, y'all, because it's a DM that works really well, right? I don't reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to sell people through DMs. I'm just asking them questions. Then, hey, who do you know that wants to make extra income? And then from there, I get on the call. Then that's when I can establish what they're good for, right? Like, hey, you know what? This can be a great referral partner or vice versa. And so here's the thing, guys. Your pipeline is your business, right? And so, Dan, the more people you talk to, the more lives you impact, is the more income you will have. And that's the fastest way to grow this business, right? Is by talking to people. See, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be in motion. You don't need to wait to feel confident, y'all. Confidence comes after conversations, not before. And so if you're looking for financial freedom in this business, what do you think you have to do? Go help a lot of people, right? Go teach people how to get out of debt. Go teach people how to become properly protected. Go teach people how to prepare for their financial future, y'all. And when you have that crusade inside of you, it doesn't matter who the person is. Your crusade is bigger than anything else. And guess what? In return, as you're helping more people are going to want to be around you. It's contagious, y'all, right? And so you got to ask yourself, who can I talk to tonight? Who can I message? Right? Whoever you just thought of, send them a message. Whoever came to your subconscious just now, send them a message. Don't call them because we're on training, right? But send them a message, because the more you build your belief in this, the better it's going to be for you. You have to build that belief. And when you build that belief, Dan, guess what? You build the confidence. When you have that confidence, you become competent. And when you become competent, you earn compensation, y'all. It's that simple, right? And so the life you want is on the other side of a few bold moves, right? And so I trust that brought you guys value tonight about building a pipeline. The key is just be willing to talk to lots and lots and lots of people. And so I have the unique honor and privilege of bringing up my brother from another mother, right? Y'all know him as Jelly Bean, but I know him as Regional Vice President Jerome Cooper. Give it away for Jerome.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Happy Friday to y'all. Good to see y'all beautiful faces, man. Great job to the panel, and great job, Jarrell, man. Good stuff. A great segue into my conversation that I want to have with you guys tonight, along the lines of filling the pipeline. So I want to talk to you guys about networking specifically, and I'm going to talk more. Get my presentation up here. I'm going to talk more specifically about professional networking. See, there's a Jarrell just talked about building the pipeline, multiple ways to generate new contacts, generate new leads, having more people to go and see. Obviously the number one skill set in our business is setting appointments, but you got to have people to set appointments with, Teresa, right? So tonight I'm going to talk some more about that, and we like to teach a concept called 5 to Stay Alive. Write that down, 5 to Stay Alive. And what 5 to Stay Alive is, it is 5 renewable sources that you are working on a weekly basis to generate new contacts. And Jarrell gave you guys quite a few there. You can do out and about prospecting. You can use your social media. You can get referrals. You have extracurricular activities, right? You can go to networking events, right? There are a number of ways. You need to be working 5 of them consistently, and have a goal. Have a goal of how many new names and numbers, how many new contacts, how many new leads you want to generate on a weekly basis. So tonight I'm going to talk specifically about networking. So what is networking? We're going to keep it real simple here. The action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social skills, right? See, we want to get you into some professional environments. Here, professional people get professional results. Put that down. Write that in the chat. Professional people get professional results. And if you can find how to conduct yourself professionally, the right group of people, you'll start to get some professional results. So we're going to talk about what we believe. We believe that you should be networking in some shape or form at least once per week. At least once per week. You know, I was talking to one of my teammates, and what we found happening, especially in the Zoom era, is people are getting stuck on social media. Right? Has anybody ever felt like that? Like, I don't work in this social media. Like I feel like I'm, not getting as much traction. I feel like I'm, spamming people. I feel like I'm, bothering people. I feel like my personal page has become business and people aren't following. Has anybody experienced this? Right? And the reason for that is because we have neglected these other ways to prospect and generate leads. Right? So as far as networking is concerned, professionally networking, we believe you should be doing it at least once a week. And here's why. It's great daytime activity. It's great daytime activity. Especially for you guys that are full-time, or you have a part-time job and you do this part-time, right? Or you have some of you guys maybe like stay-at-home parents or business professionals. Listen, it's great daytime activity to network with like-minded people. It puts you in a different environment, right? It puts you in a different environment. Man, get out of your house. You got to get out of your house. There are people out there that are looking for opportunity. They're looking to network. They're looking to grow their business. They're looking to refer. But it's going to be tough to run across those people if you're sitting at home. So that's one of the things that networking, professionally networking, allows you to do. Now, there are also some things that you can do right over Zoom. But we want to get you out of your house if we can. And then, like I just mentioned, working with like-minded people. Listen, some of these groups, some of these things I'm going to talk about tonight, you have, groups where you're meeting with people at, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, right, to network. And if those people, so you got to think about it. If those people are meeting with so I have a networking group on Wednesday mornings, Demetrius. On Wednesday mornings, we meet at 7 a.m. Right? So that means those people got up 5:30, 6 o'clock to prepare themselves, get ready for the day, to be able to be there to network. They're serious people, right? They ain't messing around. So you got some like-minded people. You don't have to worry about, running through the yahoos right out there like we do and out and about and using social media and these type of things. You got some good like-minded people. So there are two main forms of networking. Two main forms of networking that I've identified. You have networking groups, okay? Then you have networking events. Okay, so as far as professional networking is concerned, networking groups and networking events. All right, so let's talk about these. So networking groups. So you have like in that left column there, so you have your and I'll talk about the difference between these here in a second, but you have like BNIs. So BNI stands for Business Network International. You have MSF, My Salesforce, LBI, Lazy Business. No, I'm just joking. Local Business Networking is not Lazy Business Networking. Local Business Networking, right? Kind of to give you a few examples there. To the right, so networking, so like Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so networking events like a Chamber of Commerce. And you can find these locally in your area. You have different Facebook groups, but just to name a few, right? So what's the difference between these two? So your BNIs, MSFs, LBNs, so these are like they're like stricter networking groups. So they have like requirements. Usually you have to pay a fee and stuff like that to be in. It's usually like one person per profession, right? So if you go into the group as a life insurance agent, Lexi, you're the only life insurance agent allowed in that group. All the referrals come to you. So you kind of build like a sales force. The group is a sales force to you. And they usually have attendance requirements. So a little bit stricter, but what we found is people that commit to those are great to network with. Whereas the Chamber of Commerce, Facebook groups, these type of groups, they're a little bit more laxed, right? You kind of come and go as you please. You don't have to make any like real firm commitments. Lack requirements. So there's not like attendant requirements. Like I'm a part of the chamber here in our area. I really go to any of the events. I pop in and out here and there. So a little bit more lenient. Like there's like no attendance rules or anything like that. Okay. So what I would tell you guys, so I would look these up in your area. Few points here. I would look these up in your areas and look to join at least one of these. Or here's what I've done, Rich, is I started my own group from scratch. Right? I started my own group from scratch. If you have some questions about maybe starting your own group, I would love to answer those questions. Hit me up, message me on Telegram or inbox me on here. I shoot you my number, but I'd love to give you some information on how to start your own group. But there you go. So you got some of your networking groups there. Let's talk about events. So you have all type of events that are out there, event opportunities like mixers, happy hours, vendor shows. I love doing vendor shows. Career fairs, fundraiser, grand openings, ribbon cutting ceremonies, speaking engagements that you can do or attend different speaking engagements, lunch and learns, chamber outings. Here's the deal. Why am I giving you guys this list and going through this with you specifically tonight? Because we get so boxed in on how to do Primerica. Right? I already know. You don't have to tell me, Cindy. I know most of you are murdering your Facebooks. You think all of your contacts, all of your leads, all of your business have to come from there. And I'm telling you, they don't. They don't. There's a whole new world. There are great people. Jeff Miller is a great example. Jeff is our next speaker. But Jeff is a prime example of a person that came from a networking group. Right? He was met by Ian through networking, and now he's a regional vice president in our business. Right? So we get so boxed in on a couple ways of doing the business where there are several ways. So I want to open you up tonight to those. Right? So once again, mixers, happy hours, vendor shows, career fairs, fundraisers, grand openings, ribbon cutting ceremonies, speaking engagement, lunch and learns, and chamber outings. Right? So you can attend these events yourself. Right? Some of these events you can do yourself. Right? You can have a table at a vendor show. Right? You can set up a speaking engagement. I know this morning on our serious part-timers and full-timers call, Dana was talking about, she's working on a local shop, presenting the local shop, right? Look to do these things, right? Diversify how you're getting your contacts and your leads. So now we've told you where to go, right? Told you where to go. Now let me show you how to go about going, like how to do it. So I believe there's a right and the wrong way to show up to these things. We want to set you up to win. We want to set you up for success. So before you go, prepare a 30 to 60 second spiel, right? Prepare a 30 to 60 second spiel. So some of these events, they ask you to give maybe like elevator pitches, right? Or something along those lines, 60-second presentation. I know in my networking group, we have to give a 60-second presentation, right? Have something prepared. Grab some business cards. Have some of your business cards on hand to be able to exchange business cards with other business owners or self-employed individuals or business professionals. Sometimes you have business professionals at these places that aren't necessarily business owners. But be ready to exchange business cards. Dress professionally or appropriately for the event that you're attending. Right? Dress professionally and appropriately for the event that you're attending. You want people to take you seriously. So once you're there, you need to arrive early, be on time. Right? If you got anything that you're going to, make sure you're on time. Right? You are kind of setting the stage for who people will be dealing with. Right? So if you bust through the door late, so the way you do the little things is the way you do everything, and that's what people assume. So if you showing up late, but you're like, hey, I'm asking for their business or asking to network or partner with them or whatever the case may be, you better only be a little bit shy to do so. Early identification. I'm always as soon as I hit any room, Cass, any room, I can tell you who I want to talk to. Right? I'm identifying right away the people that I want to talk to. Right? How am I doing that? By their work ethic, the way they're talking, the way they're dressed, the number of things that I'm looking for, but I can identify who I want to talk to. Focus on getting to know others. Right? You got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more and talk less. Right? Create synergies. What's good synergies for us? Estate planners, other insurance agents, right? These are people that are good synergies. I'll move on for time's sake. So set no appointment. So you obviously want to get numbers. Yes, you want to pass out your business card, but you want to make sure you are getting business cards and contact information. Listen, the likelihood of them calling you is 50-50, 50% chance they do, 50% chance they don't. Erring more on the chance side that they don't. That's always my mindset, right? So I'm going to make sure I get their number, because I'm going to for sure call them. And this is the script I'm calling them with. So this is the script that I'm calling with. Hey, Jeff, what's up, man? How are you? This is Jerome Cooper. I don't know if you remember me or not. Met you at the Chamber of Commerce event yesterday. Yep, Jeff says yes. I remember you. Hey, man, appreciate you giving me your number. I'm actually reaching out today to set up a time to continue our networking. I'd love to know about your business a little bit more in detail, share a little bit more about mine, Jeff. At a minimum, we can pass some referrals back and forth. At a maximum, we can help each other generate some revenue. So as far as us meeting, Jeff, what works better for you? And I'm going to set an appointment with Jeff. Screenshot that, take a picture of it. Right? That script works wonders. Listen, every other business owner at that networking group, guess what they want? They want more referrals and they want to generate some revenue. Right? And if they gave you their number, the likelihood of you meet with them to talk business is very high. Then this last slide here, specialized network. Just a few other things that you can do: vendor shows, career fairs, speaking engagements. Like we got like our How Money Works presentations, financial seminars, etc. You get outside the box. Get outside the box. There are other business professional, like-minded people that are out there that are looking to network with you. And when you say take business to the next level, this next speaker, regional vice president, investment guru, right? He's going to be talking to you guys about securities and the power of the financial needs analysis, I believe. So regional vice president, Jeff Miller, man, Jeff, it's on you.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. And Jerome is a master of networking. He tried to recruit my son the other night out at a restaurant. So this guy, I'll tell you what, man, that's what you got to do, though. So so happy to be talking to you guys tonight. As Jerome mentioned, my name is Jeff Miller, Regional Vice President here out of Michigan. And yes, I do love securities. But more importantly, I do love helping people. And I can tell you right now, the best way you can help someone is actually to recruit them and show them an opportunity, and that will change their life forever. But the second best way you can help them, in my mind, is to create a financial needs analysis for them. So that's what I'm going to get into tonight. And I'm going to share a little bit about the details with you guys about that. And we'll take it from there. So again, I think the financial needs analysis is one of the most powerful tools that we have in our tool belt. And guys, man, we are so blessed to work for a company like Primerica that gives us these tools to help people. We don't have to pay for it all. All you need is a POL subscription, which is $25 a month, and you have access to this and all these different tools that you can help people with. But, let me just dive into this. With the financial needs analysis, if you're not familiar with it, there's a lot of different ways we help people with their financing, with budgeting and all kinds of things. There's 3 main pillars, though, to it. What I call the 3 main pillars. One is the life insurance. One is debt resolution, or coming up with a plan to pay off their debts. And the third one is saving for retirement. I'm just going to focus tonight on the saving for retirement. Okay. The other 2 things are incredible. Okay. I mean, life insurance, we want to determine the proper amount of life insurance. And of course, I think what holds most people back from investing is their debts. So helping them come up with a plan to become debt-free is phenomenal. But tonight I want to focus on saving for retirement. So why is it needed? Well, first of all, most people spend more time planning a vacation than they do working on their own financial goals. Okay. And why? It's my belief is people don't know how to plan. Okay. Just like anything else, it's a skill that must be taught. And they don't have the tools or the guidance to do that. right? Think about this. I mean, life, you first start off, you go to college or whatever, get a degree, you're on your own, you stay single for a while, then hopefully maybe you meet somebody, then hopefully someday you have a family, right? And it just seems like life always kind of gets in the way, and we're always kind of dealing with today's moment, and we always think we have time to get to it, right? But time could be your greatest friend, or it could be your worstest enemy, depending upon how you use time, right? So a lot of people just kind of put this stuff off. They kind of feel like, well, maybe I'm not ready yet. Maybe I'm not in a financial position to do that. I'm maybe embarrassed by my finances. So, they don't get to this type of stuff until they're like in their 30s and 40s. I was at a networking event last week, and someone asked me, hey, when do most people seek out financial planning or advice? And I said, usually it's too late. Most of my clients are coming to me in their 40s and 50s, and they should be coming to me in their 20s and 30s when they have the opportunity to really make some changes, okay? They don't understand the rule of 72. If you've been in the business for a minute, you know what that is. It's a great rule that teaches us about power of compound interest. And the longer you have to invest, or the longer the quicker you pay off your debts, and the longer you have to invest, the better off. If you don't know what the rule of 72 is, talk to your trainer, talk to your regional vice president. I promise you they'll explain it to you. It's one of the rules that have changed my life on how I view things, about how I view my money, and how I view about getting ahead and making my money work hard for me. Okay. And the last thing is, they don't understand the impact of inflation. Right? We live off of things today. We have mortgages, bills, expenses, right? But 10, 20, 30 years from now, inflation means that things are going to cost more than what they do today. And the average inflation rate is about 3%. At one point, it hit about 8 or 9% a couple of years ago. But over time, it's been 3%, which means that about every 20 years, things are going to cost double what they cost today. Right? Have you ever heard your parents or grandparents say, I remember when cars were this, I remember when milk was this? Yeah, it's called inflation. Things get more expensive. So if you have a budget and you're living off of $3,000 worth of, expenses in a month, by the time you retire, it's going to be $5,000, $6,000, maybe even $10,000 a month. Okay, so that's what we help our plan for our clients. So the end result is only a very few will live out the retirement that they want to live. Guys, they need us. Okay. They need us. We are changing lives with this. So what is a financial needs analysis? Well, it's quite simply, it's a written plan. Secondly, it's free. And let me tell you, and I'm sure Jarrell and Jerome and anybody that's on this call that did a free financial needs analysis, nobody complains about free, right? That's the one thing. Nobody complains about it being for free. Everybody loves that, right? Say free, right? But our competitors actually charge between $1,000 to $3,000 for these types of things. I've seen it. I've talked to people and they said, well, I've offered to do one, and then, well, you're going to just charge me money for it, right? No, it's free. Now, let me give you a trick here. In your RV regional vice presidents or your field trainers will teach you this. We do an initial KT, we do a financial needs analysis for people for referrals, right? So instead of charging you money, we want us to introduce this to like-minded people that you know, okay? And your field trainers and your regional vice presidents will teach you how to say that, okay? But look at it this way, guys. In the most simplest form, it's a financial GPS. And like any GPS, there's a starting point and an ending point, right? If I'm going to take my family from Metro Detroit up across the, up into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and go somewhere and camp out or something, what am I going to do? I'm going to take my phone or take my app. I'm going to put my starting location, which is my address. I'm going to put the location where I'm going. And guess what? It's going to show me a route on how to get there, right? So the starting point in a financial needs analysis is how much income they make, how much money they've already saved in retirement, and what's their current savings plan look like? Meaning, are they putting money into an individual retirement account? Are they putting money into their 401k through their work? So I look at their pay stubs. I see how much is coming out of their paychecks that goes into these 401k, goes into these investment accounts. If their employer happens to match, what is that amount? We're just gathering information. Okay. And the beauty part about a financial needs analysis is it tells you all the questions to ask. Like, you don't have to be smart or think about, and oh, what am I going to ask them? It tells you step by step. What is your current income? Are you currently contributing to retirement? How much have you saved so far, et cetera, et cetera. The end destination of a financial needs analysis is determining the retirement age that they desire and the total amount of money that they will need to save so that they no longer have to work for money. Guys, that's the definition of retirement. Retirement is when you no longer have to work for income anymore. Now, if you want to work to your age 100 because you love what you do, God bless you. But at some point, you want to have, all of us want to have the ability to just say, hey, I don't want to work today, either because I choose not to work, or maybe my body just won't let me work. Whatever the reason is, right? We want to build up to some lump sum number that no income stops. That's okay. That's what's called a FIN number, FIN, or financial independence number. Okay. So once we put all the inputs in, right, the financial plan, which is our software system, it calculates everything for us. And it will, the first thing it will do is it will say, this is you're on, like, this is where you stand. And it will show you, like, based on your projected path, this is the amount you are going to have. It then tells you what you should have. Okay. And since most people are not on track, the software system then defines and creates the correct path. Have you ever been driving somewhere and you're driving towards your destination, right? It's telling you route by route, right? It's telling you literally step by step what to do. Take this road for 10 minutes, take that road for 5 miles, take this road, right? And then what happens? What if there's a traffic jam? What if there's construction? It automatically reroutes, right? It's trying to find the fastest, most efficient way to get to your destination. That's what this financial GPS does. Now, it's not in real time, so you have to update it accordingly. But the very first time you sit down, you're trying to project what their path is. Are they on the most efficient path? And then the system creates that for them. So here's some questions that you can ask people. Okay. 1, are you currently working with a financial advisor? Number 2, are you currently saving for retirement? Number 3, do you know how much money you need to save to retire? That lump sum, which is that FIN number. If I ask Jarrell 100 people on the street, do you know what your lump sum is? Do you know how much money you need to save to retire? Maybe only 4 or 5 people are going to tell me that, right? That's how many people need us, right? They need us because most people don't know. Don't you think it's important to know that, right? Hope is not an investment strategy. I tell people, would you rather hope things will work out, or would you rather know things are going to work out, right? There's a big difference there. Number 4, do you know how much money you need to save per month to acquire that lump sum? So not only are we going to tell you, hey, you need $1 million or whatever your number is, we're going to say, listen, if you start saving $300 a month in this type of an investment, and you keep doing that for the amount of time you're investing, you will get there, right? It's in the details, guys. You need to know how, people need to know how to do something. Because if I tell somebody you need $1 million, the next thing they're going to do is, I don't know, how do I do that? Okay, well, you need to do $300 a month. Can you commit to $300 a month? Okay, maybe they're putting less, maybe they're putting more. If they're putting less, at least they know what they need to put in. And guess what? Now I can recruit them. Now I can use it as a recruiting tool to say, listen, let me show you an opportunity on how to make up this difference, right? So number 5, if you can learn how to possibly retire 5 to 10 years sooner than you expected, would something like that interest you? God, if someone said that to me, I say, of course, I'll make some time. Why wouldn't I? Right? These are some of the things. Everybody on the planet knows how they can want to retire sooner. And I've seen it happen. And the reason being is that when you look at the actual report, it will show you how much you would need to save to retire at your retirement age 5 years sooner. And sometimes that difference, guys, is so small. It's only a couple $100 a month. Right? So if I can sit down with Jerome and I say, hey, Jerome, do you want to work to age 62 and save $500 a month? What if I can get you to 57 and retire? All you need to do is put an extra $200. Well, where am I going to get that money? Come work with me. I'll show you how to make that extra $200. right? People will make those little adjustments to do that. Number 6, if you can learn how to potentially add an extra 250,000 to your retirement assets, would that interest you? Trust me, every single plan I've ever showed someone showed that they would be better off by at least 250,000. It's huge, guys. And number 7, do you have a written plan to reach your retirement goals? Guys, take advantage of this. If you have not done one for yourself, the first person you help is yourself. Get with your trainer, get with your regional vice president. You will learn so much. Use this tool to bless the world. We transform lives, we transform people's finances, and we give them a shot to live in retirement with dignity and that they've worked their whole lives for. With that, guys, I am done. I will turn it over to what I call the queen of Team Grind, okay, the one and only Melody Cooper. She's ready to give some recognition.
Hey, hey, hey. Excited to be here with you guys tonight. My son took over my music and I just texted him, told him I need the music back from my computer, but we might have to do with the music tonight. I'm so sorry about that, guys. That's what happened when we share Spotify. He created a playlist for me and everything. It's cool. It's cool. We're just going to do this. We're just going to be excited anyway. Okay. Get right into this here. You'll have to talk to him about that later. It's interesting. Really interesting. Okay. Personal recruits for the month of May. Guys, we just started the month of May. And here we go. We've got a top 2 for you in personal recruits. Actually, there's a lot of people who did one recruit. We've got Dana and Malcolm Martin, Kaylin Erdman, and Shayla Brown, but there is only one number 1. If my clicker will click, Dan and Taylor Romai with 2. Guys, we're going to get it together. We'll get it together. We'll be all right, okay? Personal premium. Personal premium, we've got a top 4 for you tonight. You heard from all these people earlier tonight, so I hope you see a correlation here between these speakers and then who's getting recognition. If you want to speak, you'll see yourself on recognition. Number 4, we've got Dion Stumpo. Number 3, Shaquante Ramon Cotton. Number 2, Jeff and Michelle Miller. But there is only one number 1. Actually, just kidding. There's a lot of number 1s. We've got Dan and Taylor Romai, Preston Holmes, Nathan, and Melanie Braley. Moving right along to personal securities. Guys, we don't just sell term insurance. We buy term and invest the difference, right? We've got to do something with that extra cash. And we've got your top 5 here in personal securities for the month of May. Number 5, Manesh and Kim Boxey. Number 4, Dan and Taylor Romai. Number 3, Dion Stumpo. Number 2, Jeff and Michelle Miller. But there is only one number 1, Nathan and Melanie Braley. Guys, look at these numbers so far for the month of May. What is today, the 9th? This is incredible. I love seeing these numbers. Way to go, guys. We've got your base shop recruits below regional vice president. Number 2, Kristen Askins, Karen Stump, Dana and Malcolm Martin, Kaylin Erdman, all getting a new teammate. But there is only one number 1, Miss Shayla Brown. Moving into your regional vice presidents, got your top 2 this week. Number 2 is the Fearless Hustlers, and only one number 1, and that is the Redemption Base Shop. Here we go, Base Shop Premium below regional vice president. Team Premium number 3, Dion Stumpo. Number 2 is a 2-way tie between Shaquante Ramon Cotton and Calvin and Sierra Brent, but there's only one number 1. 2 number 1s, Karen Stump and Preston Holmes. We've got Base Shop Premium, top 3, Regional Vice President and above. Number 3, Team Win. Number 2, BFG. But there is only one number 1, and that is the Redemption Base Shop. Guys, I am sorry to say we don't have any promotions or licenses this week. I couldn't believe it. We can't let this happen again. We need to see you guys getting promoted, getting your licenses. We love to recognize y'all. So I want to challenge each and every one of you. If you didn't get promoted this week or pass your test, get those done so we can recognize you and celebrate you guys in front of the group. We'll get you next week. But moving into the Stud Trophy, this is my favorite award for the week. This is our top personal producer for the last week. We've got the most teammates personal, the most personal life insurance policies, and the most personal securities. But first, we're going to remind everybody of last week's Stud Trophy winner. It was Nathan and Melanie Braley. This week, number 3, Dion Stumpo. Number 2, Jeff and Michelle Miller. But there is only one number one, the stud trophy winner for this week, Nathan and Melanie Braley. Great job, you guys. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying training tonight. It's been such a good training, so much value so far, but we're not done yet, so don't jump off yet. I know that was super fun, exciting, but I am so excited to bring up our next speaker coming to you from Tampa, Florida. Guys, she has one of the most brilliant minds of anybody that I know. I am so excited to hear from her talking about the importance of field training, leading a panel. My friend, Cass Rigney.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday Night Live. Thank you so much, Mel, Mom. Isn't Mel amazing? Everybody give it up for Mel in the chat and for all the other speakers that have already gone today. So we're going to have a little bit of a panel going on right now with some of our brand new teammates. So we got Marissa up here, and then we should be pulling in a couple of other people as we're doing so. There we go. Is it Nia or Naya?
It's Naya.
Naya. Okay, amazing. Thank you. Thank you, Naya. We got Marissa, and then I believe maybe one other. Give me thumbs up, thumbs down. We'll just start off with you ladies. So I'm super, super honored to be here with you, and we're going to talk all about the field training bonus and your first 30 days in the business, because that is so, so, so crucial. And who better to talk to about that than people who are going through it personally and who are in their beginning stages of the business. So we will start with Marissa. I'm going to start off with you. We might have one other person joining us, but we're just going to get started anyway. So Marissa, I'm going to go ahead and start with you. My first question for you ladies is going to be, what was going through your mind when you first joined the business? And what's been your biggest aha moment so far?
Oh my gosh. When I first started, I really didn't know what to expect. I feel like I was getting in my own head a lot. I wouldn't consider myself like super smart, but I am, and that can kind of get in the way when you just need to take massive action and get things going. So I just led with my heart, and I went to a book signing, and that's so silly. It was some of my favorite people, and it was about purpose. And so everyone who liked that post, I just reached out to them. And that's how I got my first appointment. And for me, it was so easy because I ran the KT script, and she's like, okay, sure. I'd love to. I'd love to help you any way I can. And then from that point, I was like, okay, that was so easy. I'm just going to call everyone on my phone now, or, reach out to more people, make more posts, and just get on the phone.
Yeah. So your aha moment was like, how easy it is. You're like, oh, maybe it's going to be difficult, but then you had one and went super well, and you were like, okay, let's keep going.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you, Marissa. So Dan, welcome. We'll go with you next, Dan. So same thing for you, kind of what was going through your mind when you first joined the business, and then what is your, what's been your biggest aha moment so far?
This is my time now. And I'd started the same 3 or 4 years ago, and looking at it this time around, quite honestly, just seeing how Dan and his wife, the success they've had, and kind of just stay into the grindstone. Looking at people's progress and an individual who stuck it out and really kind of put the pedal down, seeing how he did.
Oh no, we lost Dan. I think I can get where he was going though with that, you guys. I mean, I think it's really important for us not to, compare ourselves to other people, but to look at other people for inspiration, right? Like Dan is Dan was talking about Dan Romai, right? So Dan Romai, I mean, him and his wife are a huge inspiration, right? They got in here and they just went hard from the beginning. They started making, really, really good money. They make incredible money now. They're just really killing it. Only been in the business for a few years. So I think it's really, really important to look at those people as inspiration. Like if they can do it, you can do it. So I think that's awesome. All right. So Naya, let's go with you. So what was going through your head when you first joined the business? And then what's been one of your biggest aha moments so far?
So when I first joined, it was after seeing several of Shayla's posts on Facebook. Like she would post like little things like, oh, made $250 this week. And then one of her posts said she made like $2,500 one week. And then she posted that she made like $8,000. I was like, you know what? What are you doing? Because I need to do that too.
Yeah.
want to do that too, so I can work for myself. And then she's always like out and about, not tethered to anybody else's schedule and having to come back from a 15-minute break when you know you really need a 30-minute break for some of these places. But I was like, I want that type of freedom. I mean, I have the licenses already. I just don't know how to use them.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to her and asked her, can you help me utilize my life insurance license? Because I only ever use health insurance. I know health insurance with my eyes closed, but I don't know how to use the life part and I don't know how to do this. So she said yes. And one of my aha moments was, I don't have to know a lot of people to do this. Like, because I was like, okay, I am running out of people to DM. I am running out of, people to call on my phone. But I do talk a lot. Yep, definitely talk a lot. And so I'll talk to anybody. And that, for me, it's like, oh, okay. Well, if I start talking to people, and even if they tell me no, they're not interested, thanks, Jarrell. If they say no, they're not interested, they eventually be like, you know what? I remember talking to you and you mentioned that you did X, Y, and Z. Can I set up an appointment with you? Or can you tell me more about that? And so that is what I got when I first got in here, and because I was working another job. So
That's so good. I love what you said, like making sure, you're not nobody's a dead end. You know what I mean? I mean, you might get that occasionally where someone is a dead end, but usually, I mean, if they're no, no is not a no, forever. It's just a no for right now. So ask politely, hey, is it okay if I follow back up with you in, 3 to 6 months, see if anything has changed? Boom, go put it in your CRM. You just created yourself more business for later. And if you keep doing that with everybody instead of just, oh, they said no, so on to the next person, you're not going to spin your wheels as much. So I thought that was really, really good, Naya. Thank you so much. So Marissa, we're going to go back to you. What is, and you kind of spoke on this a little bit, but can you walk us through how you set your very first appointment? What worked? And then what do you do differently now? Maybe how has it kind of how has it changed as you've gone?
Oh, darn, I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. It's good.
So what I did, I kind of just, after the first call that I had using the Facebook post strategy, people just started firing off in my head. So I called other people that I thought would be interested in talking with me. And then, again, even if they had to reschedule, I just kept reaching out to people that would hear me out and just kind of let go of the pressure, having a sales background, being so used to like the cold calling and door knocking and just being super aggressive. And like the idea of reaching out to my friends and family, I didn't want to, gross them out with, my salesiness. But like when I kind of let go that I had to be that person, I'm just literally talking to my friends, telling them what I'm doing. The pressure just was like, and if they don't have time to do it, that's fine. But I don't feel sleazy at all in the process. And I think it was more of a switch that went off in my head. Like you're just helping people. You're just getting training, let go of the pressure. I think, and that for me is what helped me. And I've been having so much fun.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. Yeah, it's like in other sales, and not to say that all other sales are, bad or anything like that, but usually when we're in sales or, we think about sales, we're selling a certain product and it's like convincing people to buy something that maybe they do or don't need. But when you truly understand and you see a KT done and you see an F&A done and you see how we help people get them out of debt, put them in a better spot for retirement, all of those things, it, like you just said, Marissa, right? We're truly are helping people. So then reaching out to people doesn't feel so weird at all. You're like, man, they're not even gonna usually don't even spend any more money than they do when they first sit down with us, and we get to help change their lives financially. Like it's a big deal. Like we're we're actually hurting our friends and family by not attempting to reach out to them, right? And, again, if they say no or it doesn't work out, then just put them back in the crock pot and, reach out again in a few months. And I think someone else already said this on training tonight, but a lot of sometimes friends and family, they want to see that you're committed to it, right? So at the beginning, maybe they won't be as, excited to sit down with you at first, but, give it 6 months to a year. Oh, you're still doing that thing? Yeah, I'm still doing that thing, right? And it's going incredible and things will start to change, right? So that's so good. What about you, Naya? How did you set your first, walk us through how you set your very first appointment? What worked? And then what have you kind of adjusted on your journey?
So my first appointment I set with my roommate's best friend because he comes over a lot. I'm a dork. Like, I like anime and Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like super nerdy, y'all. Sorry. So he comes over and I was like, you know what? I just, stepped out on a whim to do financial consulting. Would you be interested? And he was like, yeah, I'll see what you're doing. And he was just honestly doing it to help me with training, but ended up posing a policy in that first meeting.
Nice. Heck yeah. That's awesome. See, you never know, right? That's the other thing. We got to make sure we're not, judging, like Jarrell said today, don't judge people, don't prejudge, right? You never know what people are going to need. Very good. Thank you so much, Naya. So, Marissa, we'll go back to you. So what would you say, why would you say setting field training appointments and working your way towards your bonus should be super crucial in your first 30 days? What is important about doing both of those things in your first 30 days to you?
Well, so I can get paid, obviously, in the process, because I'm still in the process of getting my license, which has been really fun. But knowing that I can still, I think it was Dan that mentioned that, like, oh no, it's Brian, spinning multiple plates at a time. I feel like it's important to be studying, making money, but then learning how to do it. And, I feel like that has, brought me more peace of mind, and it increased to that energy that I put out when I reach out to my friends or make a Facebook post, just talking about the things that, we, or just being able to see what our clients are going through. And just I was a personal trainer, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't talk about retirement and things like that. So it's a whole different world that I think requires a whole new level of depth for me as a person to understand. So I could read about it, but seeing you do that and having those conversations, hearing what is keeping them up at night, and just adding that to my future conversations, I think is so important.
Yeah.
I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, no, that was super good. That was awesome, Marissa. And I also want to touch on, just because I have, we've got you here, I think what you're doing with social media is really, really good. So if you can just kind of on a sidestep real quick, explain to everybody what it is that you're doing with your social media. It's not like she's running a super specific play or anything like that, you guys, but basically she's just being herself, but kind of documenting her journey with Primerica in like an indirect way almost. And then when people respond to that, either when they like it, love it, whatever, they just react in any sort of way, she is going in and talking to those people right away. She's calling them through Facebook Messenger. So I know I kind of explained it a little bit, but if you go into a little bit more detail about like what you're doing, strategically on social media, I think that'd be great.
Yeah. And for anyone who feels like they have tried different things, because I've sold essential oils, I've sold personal training, and now I'm doing life insurance. So Marissa's just all over the place. And I've still been able to get appointments with people who've been friends with me on Facebook, still supporting me just because they want to support me, number one. So I literally just been trying to develop kind of this new identity, because I was a struggling personal trainer. Like, I struggled with my finances. And so when I met Cass, it was like a miracle. And I was like, I need to go to that meeting because I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So it kind of opened this door for me to talk about savings more, using my pain, my own personal story to just document that, like Cass said. Just like, I made a post on how I'm saving money by making my own lattes at home and then using that to invest it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, making little posts like that, and whoever just kind of likes it or engages with it, I just reached out to them like, hey, how's it going? Like, and just keep following up with them and just go from there. Just contact business. So, that's social media is my warm market. You know what I mean? Like I do have friends, obviously, but that's where people know me.
Yeah.
That makes
really good. Yeah, you're doing a great job. I love that, you guys. Definitely check her out on Facebook, y'all, if you want any ideas. But just be yourself, right? Just be yourself. Don't be posting only about like Primerica itself all the time, right? I think someone again said that earlier in training. Like we don't want to come off as, people start to not want to talk to us anymore because that's all we're posting about, right? Just being yourself, I think, is super important. All right. Naya, so what would you say setting your field training appointments and working your way towards a big bonus? Why is that so important in your first 30 days to you?
It's important so that you can get promoted quicker. That when you do get policies and bring people on, you have a bigger payout. Unfortunately for me, I had a lot of bumps in the road, but I didn't stop trying because I'm very persistent. And I feel like it would have made all the difference in the world and paid off greatly. But again, I am persistent. I still make my 10 calls a day, my 50 DMs. I wish I would have started out doing that instead of being a little scared. Because when Jarrell told us to do it, it was for a competition and I'm competitive. So I did it. And then I was like, wait, I got some results. Let me do this again. And so consistently, I am getting people contacting me daily. If I DM them like 2 days ago and I'm still making phone calls every day, I still get people contacting me daily. So daily I'm setting appointments, even if it's just like maybe 1 to 3, I'm still setting appointments daily.
Nice. Building that momentum up, girl. That's awesome. And you're right, that you guys, like having that checklist, I love that you said that. Having those numbers and hitting those numbers on a daily basis, having that checklist is so, so, so crucial. You might not see anything and Nye, let me know if this kind of happened with you. Like maybe you didn't see it in the beginning, it didn't start working out right away, but then after like a few days or a week or even 2, all of a sudden the momentum's here and you're like, whoa, I can't even keep up with all this stuff anymore, right? Is that kind of how it happened for you?
Yep. Because when I initially started, I was still working for my employer. And so I would do it only like 4 hours after I got off of work till like about 9, because I get off at 5 Central Standard Time. And I was just like only maybe making not even a full 10 phone calls. Because like I said, I talk a lot. Shot myself in the foot. But I was still calling people, still, speaking to them about things and trying to set appointments. And again, I got a lot of no's in the beginning. Yeah. But I noticed that when I started posting stuff, like on social media and like basically doing the competition stuff, because on TikTok, I even did a TikTok dance. Okay. And just to compete. And people like started responding.
Nice. That's awesome. I think I might have heard of that. Your like base shop did like a TikTok challenge. Yeah, that's awesome. We'll have to hear more about that at some point. That's amazing. But yeah, you're right. Just like having that massive amount of activity, if you do that for long enough, for a short period of time, it'll just start to build on itself. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Naya, we'll go with you and then we'll go back to Marissa. What's something that you've learned during your fast start that surprised you about the business? So maybe like when you've been on KTs or, different appointments, what has really stuck out to you? What's something that surprised you about our business as you've been going through your field training process?
Because I follow instructions. I'm going to listen to the people that are making more money than me, right? So I follow instructions. They tell me to do something, I do it, it works. And I'm like, this is super easy. Right. Like this is all I had to do my whole life. And
you're like, why didn't I find this like so many years ago? That's how I feel too.
Right. Because the worst somebody can tell you is no. Right. But again, people told me no, or I'm not interested. And then I get, hey, I was wondering, do you still have openings? Like they'll just message me instead of calling me back. And I'm like, sure.
Sure, I guess I can squeeze you in. No, that's awesome. Very good. What about you, Marissa? What's something that has surprised you about the business during your fast start?
Yeah, like is it Nia?
Naya.
Naya, I'm sorry. Naya. We ran a KT and one of her son actually does or did Primerica. And so my heart is like thumping, like I'm like, oh no, they're gonna hang up. They don't want to, it's over, we're done. And then by the end of the call, we were just still able to pour out so much more, like so much value, even to her husband potentially, he's a basketball coach, a collegiate basketball coach. And even he was like interested in learning more about the business, even though their son did it. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just really depends on the person that they speak to, I guess. I've built up a lot of like, I worked at a gym near me and she was a member there. And so I just built up a lot of value with her in general, but she really, really wanted to help me. And it was just incredible, like seeing the value of what we do working. Like I don't want to say sells, but it speaks for itself. Like, how can you not want to do this? Like, I don't have to sit here and convince people because our process works. You know what I mean? So that was awesome. Like even her son doing it, they want to have a look at the business. They're going to let us actually do the financial needs analysis with them and come up with a plan for them. And they're going to recommend us to their friends and family. And she was like, I'll tell everyone about you, Marissa. Like, you know what I mean? I was so shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is like happening. This is a real thing right now. And I was just like soaking it all. I was like, man, this is great. This is amazing. Yeah, that's just how beautiful it's been. Of course, we're going to have those days where, it may not, those challenges come in, but it's just been a really fun ride thus far.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. When we sat down with that couple, you guys, because again, that could be an instance where, we could have just been like, oh, well, they already know all about it. Their son used to do Primerica. They've seen it, and just kind of turned away. But, continuing to talk to them at the end, I was like, well, hey, if your son's still licensed and wants to do your, life insurance, we won't step on anybody's toes. Right. And she literally was like, oh, no, we like Marissa much better, much better than our own son. I was like, dang. So, and they're going to refer people to Marissa. So again, just don't judge people. You never, ever, ever know. And then some of Marissa's clients, they also already have Primerica life insurance. They sat down with a friend of theirs that, does Primerica. They got it like 7-10 years ago though, and they're still willing to do other things with us, So again, even if they've heard of it already or, whatever the case might be, just don't prejudge people because you never know. So my last question for you ladies, just kind of wrapping up here. Naya, we'll go with you. So if you could give one piece of advice to someone who just joined yesterday, what would that one piece of advice be?
Stay consistent. Don't give in to your doubt. It gets frustrating, but be persistent. Trust the process because it certainly works for the ones that's coaching us. That's why they make more than us right now. And, change your mindset about it. Don't think of it as you just helping somebody with life insurance, but income replacement when the inevitable does happen, because it's going to happen. You don't want your family sitting here trying to figure out how they're going to bury you. You don't want them holding car washes or GoFundMe. You want them to be able to grieve you without worrying.
Okay. I love that. Just changing your mindset up, like knowing that what we do for families is super, super important. That was beautiful, Naya. Marissa, what about you? What would be one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's brand new, started out yesterday?
Just know your why, know why you're doing this, and just have that belief, believe that you can achieve what it is that Primerica is able to offer, that distribution, that business, that system, that financial freedom, and just like stay in tune with that vision. Get on the meetings, and then run that, get that field training, right? Get as many ATs as you can and let the process speak for itself and you'll be amazed.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so much, ladies. Guys, give it up for Marissa and Naya in the chat. These ladies are absolutely phenomenal tonight. That's all the time that we have. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up our next speaker. He is a regional, one of my regional vice presidents, $200,000 earner. He's absolutely incredible at this business, an absolute beast. So I'm going to go ahead and give it over to Mr. Dan Romai. Take it away, Dan.
What's going on, guys? Hey, what's up? Sorry, I was sitting in a spot where there was great light about 5 minutes ago, and the sun went down, and now I'm like at a bonfire with my iPhone spotlight. Okay, guys, so bear with me. But I will do my best. I'm excited to talk with you guys and have the opportunity to close out tonight's training, guys. Give it up for the iPhone spotlight in the Zoom chat real quick, guys, because without that thing, I'd be in the dark right now. It would be crazy. But hey, I got a few people I want to shout out real quick in the base shop that are killing it. Dan Pettit, who was on the panel for a hot second there, he's picking up goats out in the middle of nowhere tonight. So he was stationary, but stationary in the sticks. So that's why he didn't really have great service. Guys, give it up for Judy, by the way back there behind Marissa. Judy is the real MVP. I love you, Judy. Dana crushed it. She recruited a licensed agent, Kim, yesterday, doing amazing stuff up there in Michigan. I'm so excited for you, Dana. Guys, Karen on track, about to hit the next regional vice president promotion out of our base shop. Preston closed his first life app. Marissa picked up his, or not his first life app, excuse me, picked up his first COD check. So he did the full process on a cash on delivery policy and made over $700 last night part-time. Guys, he wrote that policy like a month ago and forgot about it. He told me yesterday. He picked up the COD check and made $750 last night part-time, guys. It's a big deal. Guys, give it up for Bree. Bree Evans. I prospected her at a gas station in Dexter, Michigan. Guys, get this. She's 22, I believe, might be 21. I'm sorry if I got your age wrong, Bree, forgive me. But she's got a young son. Man, she's so hardworking. I'm so excited for her. We did her orientation like 2 hours ago. She's already put me in a chat. She's gonna build a big business, guys. I'm really excited for what she's building for her son there, guys. And then, guys, give it up for Dion. Top 3 in the stud trophy this week, man. So proud of you guys, so proud of our team and the momentum that we have. Guys, I'm excited to talk to you guys tonight about something that is really important for you to understand, right? Do you understand, do you know what you have here in Primerica, right? Do you know what you have here? At some point in your life, at some point in your business, your family, like I'm saying your nuclear family, right? Your spouse, your kids, you're going to need what you have built here, and it's either going to be built or it's not going to be built, right? You're going to get to a point I promise you, at some point where you're going to need your business to have been built, and it will either been done, Naya, or it will not be done, and you'll be regretting all the slacking off that we did, right? And I'll just, some of you guys know some of the stuff that has been going on in our life. My grandfather just passed, and with him being on hospice, we got the opportunity and the privilege to be able to travel back and forth quite a bit. We spent, about 20 days roughly of the last 60 days or so up in Michigan. And guys, look, if I had to clock in, I wouldn't have been able to do that. Now we're in Columbia, South Carolina, which is not super close to where we live in Myrtle Beach. And we're able to go there and be there, and I can still work, right? Because it's flexible, right? Don't mistake flexible with free, right? You still got to work even though you can be where you want, right? You still have to be able to do the things that you need to do day in and day out, even if it's not convenient. But Primerica allows convenience to take place in your life, right? Because you're able to be where you need to be when you need to be there. That's why I'm grateful for what we have here, guys. Will your business be built when you need it? That's the question, right? So 6 steps to winning in Primerica. I'm not going to go over on time, I promise. Okay, so you got 6 steps to winning in Primerica. Number 1, never miss a meeting. I think that's a common thread that we've seen tonight, right? Almost every single person that's talked about never missing a meeting. It's not always convenient. It's not always fun. Frankly, there are times where you're like, man, I really don't want to be on this meeting, but you need to, because that's the meeting that you're going to get something that you need to get. Right? You're going to get the nugget, the piece that you're missing, the one thing that's stopping you from being where you want to be. It's that little, that coaching piece from somebody who's a little bit further ahead of you or has a slightly different perspective that'll shift your business for you. But you're not going to get the meeting, or you're not going to get that nugget if you aren't on the meeting, right? So you got to show up, right? We ask you guys for about 2 hours a week of training so you can learn how to be productive in the field. Never miss a meeting, guys. Winning, winning is for the committed, right? Not like you are not going to win in Primerica if you are not committed to the process at least for a season. Right? You don't accidentally get to district leader. You don't accidentally get to regional vice president. You can ask any RVP, regional vice president on this call, anyone that's making 6 figures on this call, that, man, if they were not committed for a season, they never would have gotten to where they're trying to go. I'll tell you, we had a big push to get to RVP. We pushed for the ring. Actually, we pushed for the ring first, then for RVP. Then we made a big push for the second ring, the second diamond, excuse me, the $200,000 mark. Right now, we're making a big push to promote 3 RVPs in the next 18 months, right? And if we do that, when we do that, by the way, 3 first-gen RVPs, right? Cass is going to promote a couple. We'll probably have one of the ones we promote some, right? That's a big deal. We're looking at 5 to 10 regional vice presidents in the next 2 to 3 years if we stay committed. You got to be committed to the process. Never miss a meeting. Number 2, compete for everything. Man, compete for everything. You got to fight for the stupid little $5 Starbucks appointment setting gift card contest just as much as you fight for Breakaway for the Bay, just as much as you're fighting for Marco Island, right? Why? Because your trainers are teaching you how to fight for things, how to win things. Because let's be real, if you were money motivated, you'd be making a lot more of that right now. Right. So you're probably not super money motivated, but you might be Starbucks motivated, right? You might be silly Zoom background motivated. That's fine. Just recognize that, hey man, I'm not super money motivated, but I really hate when Marissa beats my butt in an appointment setting contest. Right. And so I'm going to work hard and I'm not going to lose that. Right. Now I'm not going to not be on the stud trophy top 3 ever again. Why? Because it just drives me freaking nuts. Right. I literally texted Jarrell the second that I saw that I wasn't number 1 in the stud trophy, Mel. I texted Jarrell and I was like, dang securities. Right. I was so mad. I was so pissed. Right. Why? Because I'm competitive and I'm back on my game. Right. I'm not mad about losing when I'm not working. Right. But I'm not going to lie. It bothered me so much, Sierra, that we not even top 3. Right? Why? Because I didn't have a securities trade. Dang it. Oh man, drives me nuts. Number 3, be consistent in your activity. Right? Consistency breeds success in everything that you do. Right? Let's just disregard Primerica for a second. Consistency breeds success in weight loss and weight gain. Right? Consistency breeds a successful and healthy marriage, right? You put the time in with your spouse that you need to put in and you work towards things on the same page, you will have a healthy marriage, right? You will have a healthy relationship. Man, you eat good over and over again, you stay active, you stay committed, you are going to lose weight or at least lose body fat. Right? You read books every day, you're going to become mentally sharp. Guys, you set 3 to 5 appointments every day, you will naturally, over the course of time, become a regional vice president. Now, you need to be committed, you need to be focused, you need to work, right? But 3 to 5 minimum a day for a period of time, really, frankly, Jennifer, not that long, right? Like maybe 90 days or so, Sharita, of you busting your butt, setting 3 to 5 a day, staying consistent, not missing a weekend, not missing a Sunday, but setting 3 to 5 every day for 90 days. You should be an RVP, no doubt. Right? It's just consistency. It's just consistency. Now, here's the other side to that coin, right, Cass? If all I'm doing is setting 5 appointments with people that are 19, no house, no job, no money, no kids, it's going to be a lot harder, right? I have an uphill battle in that situation. So we need to understand the market. And I think the biggest light bulb that's gone off for me in the last 20 days or so has been it's consistent activity in really good markets, setting at least 1 or 2 5-point appointments every day. Right? The other 2 or 3, like, man, I don't care. It doesn't matter where it comes from. I legit do not care. But the bulk of my appointments, the big ones that I'm trying to set, right? The big fish that I'm trying to catch, married people with kids, successful in business already, right? Why? Because they're busting their butt and they're working their booty off and they're not making the money that they want to make. And most of the time, if they're making really good money, they have no time. Right? And so you just got to know how to leverage Primerica around people, right? Winners do every day what losers do sometimes. Look, it's not that you're not doing what you should be doing. Most of you are doing what you should be doing, but you're doing it 40% of the time or 50% of the time. Well, a 50% grade is still a fail. Right? So if you showed up half the time to your class, half the time to your college course, and you took your test and you got a 50, you don't get a degree. If you set 3 appointments a day, 4 days a week, you don't get an RVP contract. That's just kind of how it works. Right. And well, Dan, what about this exception? Guys, listen, there's exceptions to everything. Okay. So you're going to have that one guy that got to RVP because he recruited in a great market and whatever. I'm saying most of you need to be very diligent about setting 3 to 5 every single day if you're trying to get full time. Listen, some of you came here just to make like $300 a month, and God bless you. That's awesome. Set 2 or 3 appointments a week and you'll do it. Right. I'm not talking to those people right now. No disrespect. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. We love you. We want you to be a part of the team. I'm trying to talk to the people that are trying to make it big here, that are trying to get to RVP, that are trying to get promoted, that are trying to win, that are trying to break family trees, right? That are trying to get to where they're trying to go and be the one, right? I'm talking to you. You can't just accidentally come across that type of pinnacle success. It just doesn't happen. You have to work hard. And your feelings are liars, Leah. Right? Man, oh, this is so freaking good. I love this. Right? Your feelings are liars, right? Why? Because constantly you tell yourself, I believe, Cass, that you guys were just talking about this. Man, we get in our head about setting appointments all the time. Oh, they don't need it. They're all set. They're fine. Right? Listen, I'll be real. I'm going to put Dan a little bit on blast. Dan started with us. Dan, DJ Pettit, the one that was supposed to be on the panel, the goat wrangler, right? He's going to have all sorts of nicknames. I'm sorry, Dan. But I recruited him 4 years ago, right? And he wasn't super excited with the system that we were running at the time. And that's okay. But he was a client. He had life insurance. He had investments. Right. He reached out when he stepped out of his last job while he was getting married last year, and took all of his money out of his investment account. I'm not putting him on blast, but he paid for his wedding. Right. And so listen, in my head, Dan was no longer a client, and he had quit the business before. Right. I grew up with Dan. I grew up with I don't know, me calling him Dan is so weird. I grew up with DJ. Okay. You all call him Dan, but I grew up with him. And so everything in my head was like, man, he tried it already. He's a client. He knows what we do, right? If he needs it, he'll reach out to me. Everything in me, Marissa said, you don't have to reach out to him. You know what I did anyway? I shot him a message. I said, hey, bro, why don't you get your license and come work with us? Literally the worst prospecting message, but that's what I sent him, right? Because he already knew what we did. And I had softly tried to recruit him a couple times back in the last few years. But I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna let my thoughts get in my way, Leah. And so I sent the message. I got on the phone with him for like 10 minutes, explained to him a little bit of the difference. Jeff, I sent him the IBA link. He filled out his own IBA. We did his orientation. We did his client experience appointment today. We're doing his FNA next week, right? He's done with all of his chapters already, right? If I didn't reach out to him, if I'd have listened to my limiting beliefs, none of that would have happened. Right? I was walking away from the counter at the gas station on our road trip up to Michigan. And I was about to have Taylor pay. We have the same bank account. Don't worry. I have money, but I was I was going to let her pay for everything, go start pumping the gas. And then Nia, I was like, you know what? No, Bree is carrying herself. I didn't know her name at the time, but Bree's carrying herself differently than everybody else inside this gas station. Right? I'm going to get her number. And so I went to the counter and I prospected her, right? Here she is. Brand new in the business, just getting the ball rolling, right? Everything in me, Marissa, wanted to walk away, but my feelings, I know I am like, it is almost, it's almost every single time that when I feel like I shouldn't do something in the business, that when I do it, there's a blessing on the other side of it. For some of you, you just needed to hear that right there, right? It's always on the other side of what you don't want to do that your business explodes. Right? Every time Jerome made me start prospecting people, right? And now I'm more fired up about the business than I've been in 3-4 years. Why? Because I got a freaking notebook of names I haven't had time to call because I got so much stuff going on. But I'm still adding to the pipeline. Right, guys, listen, you need to prospect. You need to get into market. You need to stop listening to the thoughts in your head that are stopping you from getting to where you need to go. It's 8:30. God bless. I said I wasn't going to go over. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. right? One bite at a time. You just got to start doing it, right? You got to start prospecting. You got to start setting appointments. Number 4, you need to be overly positive, overly excited. Man, people should run into you and be like, man, this guy, this girl's going somewhere, right? Something's happening here. I need to latch my little red wagon onto wherever the heck Sierra's going, and I need to go with her, right? If you don't know the audio I'm talking about, I'll put it in the RVP chat. They can send it to you later. Man, that's such a good audio about the little red wagon, right? Number 5, you need to become a student of the system. You are not going to be successful here if you don't follow a system. I don't care what system it is, be a student to it and learn it, right? All your RVPs on this call, almost every single RVP runs almost exactly the same system. We all have little nuances, but listen, at the end of the day, follow what your regional vice president's doing and just run that play and master it. Get really good at it, will you, right? Get really, really good at it, right? Number 6, you need to fight for your growth, guys. You have to fight for your growth. You need to pick up your book. You need to read. You need to set your appointments. You need to prospect, right? Why do you need to do this stuff? Because everything you want is on the other side of who you are right now. Jerome always says on our calls, you can't walk into your bright new future with your same old self. You got to get better, right? You got to get better. If you want to make more money, you got to be somebody that makes more money. If you want to have more freedom, you got to be somebody that has more freedom. You want to attract good people, Demetrius, you got to become somebody that attracts good people, right? What do they dress like? How do they talk? What do they say? Right? What do they look like? What's their haircut like? How do they take care of their beard? Do they brush their teeth? Do I need to get braces? Like all these little things that we don't think about, they're important. Right? And listen, every single regional vice president on this call, if we were to show you before Primerica pictures and current Primerica pictures, you'd laugh at us all, right, Jarrell? They'd be thinking we're crazy, right? Looking at your pictures from 7 years ago, you're probably like, man, what the heck was I thinking going out in public like that, right? But now you wouldn't be caught dead in those types of situations, right? Guys, if you're not growing, you're dying, both in your business and in your personal development. Right? If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. You do not maintain. Maintenance is a lie. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. It is what it is. Right? You can get mad at me about it, but that's the truth. Guys, listen, we love you. Your trainers want you to win. Right? Your trainers, we want you to be successful. We want you to get to RVP. Listen, I would gladly take a 15% pay cut from my mother to override a regional vice president. Right? I want you to get to RVP. We want you there. Your trainers love you. We want you to win, guys. Go get after it. Have an incredible weekend. I'm 3 minutes over. I'm sorry. I'll Venmo you, Jarrell. My bad. Guys, have an amazing week. We love you guys. Go break some records with your appointment setting this weekend and get after it. We'll talk to you later. See you.